And you get
So I need a motion for the approval of the minutes of September 28th. Ms. Ryan. Oh, yeah, Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna need one more.
Hang on, we're gonna move.
Yeah, we're gonna move. Yeah, we have four people out, and two of them are sick, so one was showers, so Kevin will sit in and make a quorum. So Ms. Ryan made the motion, the way there's second, Mr. Diamond, all in favor? Aye. Passed. We'll start off with the privilege to the floor. Anybody has anything, comment or something they'd like to make? All right, I see you. All right, action agenda. Budget review.
Everyone have an agenda? There we go. So what I'm passing out here is a follow-up question to when we reviewed the budget and the question in regards to the org chart and the job description. You should stay on that. The job description of the creative director. And therefore, the second page is the job description of the current creative director position. That is about over 10 years old. So I want to just point that out. Then what I did is take a look at the org chart itself. We're asking about position with regards to the addition or the change salary within the creative director, as well as the request that was approved earlier for the social media manager. If you look at this from the right side, it starts with the creative director. My view is that the creative director should be looking at everything from creative design to videos to production to branding to content. That includes occupancy tax, making sure that those that we contract with are using our logo, using it appropriately, and spreading our brand around and being seen in front of all of those that they're attracting at their events. Then underneath that, through the by the creative director overseeing a social media manager, a communications specialist, and a communications assistant. I do want to say here, this org chart includes main responsibilities. There will be additional duties that happen here. I also want to say that the people listed under these current job descriptions are their current role and could be fulfilling those other roles that are vacant. So I don't want you to think that that current position and that job description correlates with what that person is doing in that role right now. Looking at the left-hand side through this committee, thank you very much for allowing us to create a tourism coordinator. That is Paul. Thank you for attending. And he is pretty much all things occupancy tax oversight, as well as anything that it needs assistance within the department. And then this assistant coordinator, which we currently have received applications and will be starting the hire or the interview process, is in charge of research, travel guide, distribution, business and event listing data. We have asked, this board has allowed us to go into contract for a larger website that has more bells and whistles, which will need us the ability to continue to update content. So therefore, you're seeing multiple persons on this org chart looking at business and event listing data. Each of them will be, given one or the other, but always in contact with the businesses. Our role as a department is to assist the businesses and help them to succeed. And we can't do that with lack of communication with them. So this allows for that to happen. Are there any questions?
So are you asking each one of these spots will be filled, or the left-hand side is what we have currently, along with the two ladies in
Yeah.
communications.
So there isn't an ask right now, but what there was a question with regards to the creative director position and the need for to see if the social media piece was part of the creative director job description. And then therefore, right now, with the moving up of Paul, that created a vacancy in the assistant coordinator.
Okay.
Departure of creative director, that created that vacancy. And then in the last, maybe 2 months ago, we approved to have a social media manager. I apologize. Through the budget, we are looking to add a social media manager as well. So 2 changes in the budget cycle, salary change for creative director and the addition of a social media manager. And that's in the budget process. Okay.
Any other questions or? We need to have a resolution that passes.
No, because it goes in front of it goes to the full board
Okay,
for passing. It actually goes to the public. And at that point, it gets passed. This is just part of the process of information, and I wanted to follow up with questions.
Just 2 quickies,
can you get to the mic, please?
oh, I'm sorry. Something about contracts for outsourced, let's say for those kinds of things, does that fall directly to you or to the creative director? Like, so for Josiah, who's going to trade shows to manage that and to, go by their contracts and that, because that's not noted here, I just wondered.
No, so contracts are based on, twofold. Because you said Josiah, that's very different. That's on the travel guide distribution end.
Okay.
So that would be managed on that.
That's what I
That's
wanted.
in my world, because it's creative and distribution. But for example, a paid media, that would be managed by the creative director.
Understood.
PR, so they basically manage all of those pieces.
Got it.
Yeah,
Good.
it's not that direct
No,
on
I
here,
know,
but
I know,
yeah.
I just, it's just.
You'll stay with me.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, everybody understands what's going on. All right, we'll do the number B workshop,
Yes.
into media plan.
So while they're getting up, I want to, and thank you for that. Let everyone know that, this may be a winter media plan, but the current contract ends in December. Therefore, I've only asked them to present to that current contract. They are up for renewal, and we will look at that and do those approvals at the next meeting. So you're only seeing half of the winter season, so just know that.
I got it, thank you.
There's a few extras here if anyone needs it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are with workshop. We're here to present the upcoming winter paid media plan. That'll be for November and December. So we're going to share with you just where we're at in the process of the upcoming media plan, the themes that we've been determined. Ellie's going to share with you the tactics and finish up with the final.
Speak a little louder, a little bit, please.
Yep. Sorry about that. So where we're at with the process right now, the fall plan is currently running, and we're here to talk about the winter media plan. So we've already done a kickoff call with Heather to determine the target audiences, messaging and goals, and the overall, how this fits into the overall annual budget. We've prepared a media plan and reviewed that with Heather, and now we are here to share with you the high level allocations for each of the tactics. Once that's approved, we will start working on doing mock-ups with the creative assets. And Allie will work on the tracking code creation, uploading all of the ads and getting that prepared for each tactic to launch on time. While the campaign's running, we do daily and weekly campaign monitoring and optimizations as needed. And at the end of every season, we always do a campaign report and deliver that to Heather. So going into winter, these are the themes that we've determined. So there's 4 different overall categories: outdoor recreation, attractions, events, and food and drink. So for outdoor recreation, we are looking at downhill skiing and snowboarding, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, ice skating, and snowmobiling. Attractions, we've got some new things this year: the Winter Realms, Winter's Dream, and then shopping, of course. For events, hockey and Winter Carnival. And the food and drink themes would be wineries, restaurants, breweries, distilleries, igloo dining, and ice bars.
All right, going into our tactics for this winter, we're doing all digital tactics. So starting with connected TV, that is your streaming TV. So anything that's not your cable or broadcast from a commercial on your streaming. We also have paid social, which is on both Facebook and Instagram. Blends right into the feed there in one of our highest engaging tactics. Native advertising, which is a form of digital advertising in which the ad appears native to the format it's served in. My favorite example is if you're on a news site and you're reading an article and then you're at the bottom, you see something that says read more, suggested for you. One of them says sponsor their ad, that's a native ad. Then we have Google ads. So I think we're all pretty familiar with searching on Google. Some of those prompts that come back are in the format of ads. So we like to target a mix of keywords based on each season to serve those. We can also serve some video ads on YouTube as well through Google Ads. And then retargeting, which is a form of targeted advertising, which re-engages an audience that we've already identified. So most frequently for us, it is previous website visitors. We tag them from the website. We continue to serve them ads to keep Warren County tourism top of mind as those travelers are making their decision, their traveling decisions. So going into the 2023 winter media plan, November and December, our total budget is $123,000. Beginning with connected TV, we have the same geographic targets for all of our tactics. So I'll just mention it once, and all of them are going to be running from November 1st to December 31st. So geographically, we're targeting New York City, Albany, Syracuse, Utica, Rochester, Buffalo, Philadelphia, Boston, Springfield, Hartford, and Montreal as our main markets. We've allocated $20,000 towards connected TV. For paid social, again, same markets, same flight. Our themes here are outdoor winter activities, Winter Realms, Winter's Dream, events and shopping. And then we have 37,500 towards in social. Going to the next page, we have our last 3 tactics. The native advertising, again, same market, same flight dates. And for these, we select several blogs and choose those to boost. So our blogs for this season are Make Lake George area your winter destination. Top reasons Lake George is the best Adirondack winter destination. And then a new blog called What's New This Winter, Winter Realms and Winter's Dream. So we have that for $30,000. Our retargeting. Our audience here will be website visitors from the past 30 days. 5,055 there. And then finally, Google Ads, which we target on a state level, not just a market level. You have New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Quebec, Ontario. And our themes here are kind of branded, outdoors, top attractions, events, overnight stays, food and drink, and shopping. A shopping video, which will run right through the holidays, right before the holiday season, the end of the year. We have 30,500 allocated towards that. Any questions?
If I can add to that,
Hey,
just with regards to Google Ads, I work very closely with Workshop because we have new events and each of those new events have their own marketing firms. They're tasked to market that. Therefore, we're not adding them into any of our AdWords marketing. That way, when people are looking for that specifically and more so because they've already heard about it through another media platform, and then they Google search it, they will most likely, hopefully get to that particular page to book that event. That's, we will have areas on our site to lead them to book, but this allows the saturation, allows for there not to be saturation in the purchasing of Google Ads amongst the competition. It's just to also work closely with other organizations, those particularly working with that particular need.
Can I ask you a question? Okay, I'm looking back on this, the first couple of TV ads and paid special ads. I don't see New Jersey in there. I only see it in the Google ads.
Yep. So New Jersey, I have this pulled in by designated market areas or DMAs. New Jersey is included in both the New York City and the Philadelphia market, and they're broadcast markets, TV that way.
I just want to make sure New Jersey gets it, it's advertised.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else?
Just a quick question about the blog for the winter. What we're learning, and I know Heather has been able to get on our marketing call for all the winter events. So 3 things that are coming up as key is Winter's Dream by Moment Factory, because of their ties to Montreal. They have a huge following there, and we want to be able to capitalize on that. And then Winter's Well, we've asked them to use by Ice Castles to go along with, because Ice Castles has had such a huge following in our market. And then Winter Carnival, to make sure it's Lake George Winter Carnival, not to be confused with Saranac Lake and others. So we're all like really cognizant of those additional words. Just, I throw that out there because we're all being tasked with, however we're talking about it, to use all of the words. I just throw that out there.
Can you let me know when those meetings are? I have at least one in front.
Yeah, I know. I know. You get really busy.
I would love to make time for that.
I know.
All right.
Thank you.
Do you have anything
Thank
else?
you.
All right. All right, back to tables with floor, so most people left already, so I don't see any. Yes, go ahead. Thank you, ladies.
Want to make a quick comment for Heather and the tourism department about just a little reflection on the last season. We saw a huge change in June. We had a very down June this year, as opposed to every other June. We've been keeping track for 57 years of the business. We had the lowest Americade we've ever had, I think, due to the way they moved the schedule. We lost most of our Americaders. Doesn't look much better for next year. We're seeing a very down Americade so far in advance bookings. July and August were affected by the weather greatly. We do also believe that after 3 years of the pandemic, people did go out and do their cruises and the European vacations. That caused a lot of the tourism down this year.
Great.
We've never seen that before, obviously, because that was an event that happened after staying 3 years domestically. Everybody just took the flight and went. Cruises were being given away basically to get people back to cruising. So that's a reason why I think basically everybody in Lake George's, their numbers were down. Their revenue was okay because we all did price increases, but the numbers, the actual visitors was down this year. Just 2 notes on next year. If anybody's looked at next year's calendar, the way the regions fall next year, we only have a 9-week summer season. So summer starts late. June 28th is really the start of the summer season. And Labor Day falls early next year. So we're at a 9-week summer season, which could be potentially a problem. Also, for fall events, Columbus Day falls a week later. So Columbus Day doesn't fall until like the 13th, I think, next year. So we have an extra soft weekend in the fall, that we really need some events to fill out, in addition to the one soft weekend, kind of right after car show. So in planning for next year, we need the leisure traveler back. In my business, we're all leisure travel. I know Lake George businesses saw a lot of return of group travel, meetings and things. We don't benefit from that in my business. So anything you can do to get the leisure traveler back, we would so much appreciate it. So just a few notes. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for your comments, because I think you're pretty much on target with that. And then talk about Medicaid.
Well, I was gonna ask Gary, what do you think the trend is? Has it gone its course now? And the people have changed and they're not into the touring motorcycles or?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a steady decline, but we saw a sharp decline with moving of the dates, being right by Memorial Day weekend. We're in a situation where we can't allow early arrivals like on a Sunday and Memorial Day because it blows your whole weekend.
Yeah.
You need to sell those 3 nights, so we weren't really allowing Americade arrivals till Monday. So you lost, the early vendors, things like that. You're kind of turning away. They don't want to pay the high rates for Memorial Day. They don't want to give you a 3-night minimum on Memorial Day. So backing it into Memorial Day, I understand the reasons why they did it, but it really, it hurt business. We were down. Oh my gosh. I mean, we lost over 1,000, what we call trailer nights, but room nights over Americade this year. And it really impacted June. June was the worst June on record, going all the way back. We never had a worse June than we did this year. And that set the tone for the rest of the season. Of course, you couldn't make those nights up. And then, of course, in the camping business, we got rain every other day.
Yeah.
You can't control that, but it was a horrible weather year, as you know. And we feel a lot, some of it was also this whole air quality thing in June.
Yeah.
Where they had, it was crazy. We were getting calls, what's the air quality? Well, you're in a campground, there's fires everywhere. You can't, I mean, it was crazy, but people were not coming because of the air quality. So that impacted June as well, the wildfire. So those are the kind of what, we talked about in our organization and through the chamber. That's kind of the reasons we came up for the soft season. Mostly though, European travel and cruises.
Yeah. And thank you, Kevin. That was a good question. But my thing was on Medicaid. My part of business, my Medicaids are aging out.
Yeah, they are. They really.
I mean, now that they don't ride the bikes all the way up, they trailer them. And they don't stay 7 days, they stay 5 or 4, but they are aging out because the younger generation doesn't, motorcyclists are not Medicaid type. So, but this year with having on and getting a new creative director and, working on it, we got to point out certain, but he pointed out a couple of good spots that we should nail more in advertising.
I still think we need to do a little more study of the money, obviously tax money we give out for events. We ought to be looking, somebody ought to go into the Smith travel report and say, do you see the bump up? I mean, you send us all those reports. I don't have time to go day by day. If somebody could do a little synopsis of the major events, are we still seeing a bump up? Or we're not seeing a bump up and presenting it to us on a monthly basis, that would be helpful.
Yep.
To me, I mean, we have all this data. But you professionals gotta, interpret it for us. I guess that's what I'm saying. What's the fact? I mean, I agree with you, Gene. I mean, we gave away money like it was these lifesavers. And this spring, and I was guilty. I sat right there and we gave every one of the groups that came in money, some that were untried, untested. I don't know if we've seen the results from when they make out the reports for the county.
Very few of those vouchers have come in.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, so we should learn from that. Do we need to give a new event 15,000 when they probably, are. Maybe they don't justify it or it was good or bad, because I don't think there was a real bounce around this summer. I don't think even. Maybe it's because we don't have the Post-Star anymore, but I don't think there was a real bounce even around the track season. I mean, not, at least not up here. I know Lake George relies on the rooms for the track and, I know our grass sale was decent, but it wasn't crazy. You couldn't maneuver around. Of course, we were on Friday now. Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. And I mean, it was good crowds, don't get me wrong, but it's different. We could see a big change, especially on that Saturday morning. They weren't getting there at 6 a.m. They're coming a lot later to do their browsing, and I'm sure that most of the people come there. I have to ask Suzanne what she felt, because we sold more spaces, both the town and the chamber sold more spaces. It just, I don't know, it wasn't really, there wasn't that kick this year. It didn't seem to me, you know. But and then if you could help us with the analysis
Yeah.
of some of these events, because I think it's time that we really look and see if our investment is paying the return.
Correct.
I mean, it's nice to say that. It's nice to have somebody say, if I don't get it, I can't do it, but yeah, we need some data to help
Yep.
us a little.
Yeah, we're gonna try to look at that, Kevin, and my point is. You gotta do it all overall. Let's pick a number 10%, you know, and everybody, if they get 50, they're only gonna get 45. They should still be in business, you know. But we have to watch it and take care.
You would hope, you know, I mean, we're all competing and, you know. And I hope we get the basketball tournament back. It's not a given.
We're struggling with a lot
I
of
hope we get it back. I don't know when they'll know about that. But
All right.
that's a big push.
And on to comment on what you said, you know, that's the reason why Paul is in that position.
Yeah.
We will provide that, but also having whoever precedes him in his prior position is more research. And providing that assistant, because some events might not have the resources, event runners to pull up some of those analytics. So we are going to fill that void. And then when we present applications that come forth, we will identify if they were in the past, identify the economic impacts based on what we have available. So that definitely. we will
And
be doing that
I
going forward.
also, you know, we shouldn't be afraid to look at what the CVB
Yeah.
generates.
Yep.
We shouldn't be
Absolutely.
afraid to look at that and say, okay, are we padding the event's profit? Or are we helping the hotels and motels by, you know, I think, you know, we shouldn't be afraid to push back a little bit.
Mhm.
If we're padding an event's, obviously you want everybody to make money, but
Yeah.
you know, I know sometimes we gave extra money out and really went on their bottom line as a profit margin versus did we grow the event?
Yeah.
I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yep, yep.
And I'm not a tourism guy.
Well, mostly what they were saying, it's like my town had one big event for the two months with that music. We did food trucks. I mean, we had 700 people. Now, I can't tell you where they went. You know, it wasn't in every hotel around the county, but it was, we were hoping for 200 people. And we went from 400 and some the first week, and then 450, then 5, then 6, and 700. I mean, it was amazing time. That was our biggest thing, but I can't tell you if the business people made money from it. Because I can't tell you where those people came from and what hotel they were staying in, but it had to help a little bit.
I can tell you for the first time in 15 years, rain got the fire company up there. We've had nothing but up until this year.
Yeah.
The rain got us.
Yeah.
Wasn't anything else but the rain.
All right. Anything else? We'll have a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
if you don't mind, I'm so sorry I'm late. But as member of the Economic Development Standards Board, I was at the annual luncheon today. And there was a presentation about the Jefferson Project. I'm not sure if anyone knows about the Jefferson Project, but it's a collaboration between the Lake George Association, RPI, and IBM. And
That's
the presentation was amazing. What they've done for our lake in terms of managing salt and identifying the salt problem. And now we're using brine on our roads. And they've shifted their efforts towards harmful algal blooms. And the science that they're going through and what they've understood in terms of looking at Lake George and a couple other lakes in New York State that are similar to ours is leading to we talked about genomes, and all I can think about genomes is some kind of biological DNA kind of stuff. But they're looking to possibly target the one algae that causes algal blooms to help prevent the lake. And it's not specifically from septic systems. It's not specifically from stuff on the top water of the lake. It's a whole cross section of the bottom of the lake to the top of the lake. And it's something that we should think about actually supporting more if they need some support. Because the technology and where they're going is pretty amazing. And again, I'm sorry for missing the meeting.
Thank you. And one answer we had last month on that 10% that the treasurer wanted.
Yes, sir.
Couldn't give you the answer. We did research it and the board decided knocked it down to 6%. So
So that's where we're going.
that's what we're going
We should expect a spirited discussion at the board meeting.
to. I don't know, but we'll see. All right. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. All right. Mr. Ron.
It's not giving you a meeting, June.